Hi, this is Bo Blackwell, Director of Education for ClickBank. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can improve your conversions by looking at where your traffic is coming from and figuring out how you can best utilize the traffic that's coming to your website. So the first thing to keep in mind is that all traffic is not created equal. A lot of people, when they're starting to get into the information marketing business, they just think, I need more traffic, more traffic. But there's good traffic and there's bad traffic. Good traffic is going to result in more sales, more signups, more conversions for you. And then bad traffic is just going to result in a lot of extra visits to your website and bandwidth usage and things like that that don't actually result in more sales. So we're going to talk about in this video kind of the right types of traffic to focus on, the wrong types that you want to avoid, and how you can best utilize all the traffic that's coming into your site. So the key kind of differentiator here is thinking of it in terms of warm traffic versus cold traffic. So we're going to cover these things in more detail, but effectively warm traffic is people who either know you or have sort of been warmed up to the idea of you and your product, versus cold traffic, which is people coming in who are not familiar with you at all and kind of don't have any reason to know you, like you, and trust you, like we talked about in an earlier video. So typically, warm traffic is going to mean higher trust and therefore higher conversions. So some examples of warm traffic would be things like your email list, and that could either be actual existing customers or prospects and leads that you've signed up by giving away a free report or that kind of thing. Social media following, so that could either be yours or another trusted person who points their followers to you. Free content that you've created, so things like blog posts or those free reports I mentioned, videos that you've posted on YouTube, really anything that demonstrates your knowledge and value to people and then points them to your website is automatically going to lead to more of a warm traffic kind of situation. JV referrals, which that's basically just people who point potential customers or leads in your direction and can actually recommend you based on the relationship they have with you. Typically those are a lot more qualified and they can speak to why their audience would be interested in your stuff. And then webinars is kind of a newer one, but it's very popular and very useful. And basically you're giving away free useful content to an audience before trying to sell them anything. So you're educating them, you're demonstrating what you know and your likability and that sort of thing, and then you point them to your website. And that tends to convert a lot better than if you're bringing people in who you've not demonstrated that to. On the other hand, cold traffic usually equals lower conversions, and we'll talk about how you can overcome that in a minute. But these are typically things like banner advertisements, where you don't have a chance to really pre-sell information. It's people who are on another website and you're just showing them an ad, so they're kind of just curious and wanting to know more, but they're not really invested in it. Pay-per-click advertising is typically the same as above. Depending on where you're advertising, they may be showing a little bit more investment if they're searching for a specific topic and your ad shows up. It can be a little bit better qualified, but not necessarily. Affiliates who are not necessarily kind of trusted sources, where they're not sending traffic to your offer from their own audience. They may be advertising on your behalf or something like that, but there's not really a relationship there, and so customers might be a little bit skeptical. And then usually SEO, where someone is searching for something and a result comes up and it points people to you. But depending on what's coming up in the search results, if it's something like I mentioned earlier where it does end up demonstrating your knowledge and value and gets people liking and trusting you, then it could actually end up becoming warm traffic. So it's not always that way, but in a lot of cases, if someone's coming in and it's the first time they've ever seen you, that traffic is pretty cold. So these are a few ways that I wanted to talk about that if you do have that cold traffic coming in, that you can turn it into warm traffic and really get people over that skepticism or nervousness about buying from someone or signing up for someone's mailing list that they're not familiar with. These are a few ways that you can do it. This one is showing trust imagery. So these are some examples from a few different blogs and product pages where they demonstrate, hey, I've been featured in these popular magazines or these trustworthy news sources. That automatically lends credibility to you. The one in the middle, it's for a guy named David Siteman Garland, and it's talking about all of the TV channels that he's been featured on, where he's had articles published, things like that. So, you don't necessarily have to go all the way to a CNN or to a Fox or something like that, but even if you have local coverage or you've been featured in popular blogs in your space or that kind of thing, put that kind of trust imagery that shows people, hey, I'm a credible expert. Landing pages are another way that you can optimize that cold traffic because it can let you really target a message to a specific audience and give people that entry point into your sales funnel. So this is an example from Match.com. They're just asking for a little bit of information. It's not necessarily, they're not asking for a credit card. They're not asking for a sale. It's kind of a free to start sort of thing. This is another one for a ClickBank vendor. He's actually optimized the page for fans that saw him on a particular TV show, so that he was on Rachel Ray. So he created a whole separate landing page that's just geared towards Rachel Ray fans. And so all of the messaging supports that. And that ends up getting people really trusting it and gets great conversions out of that because it's speaking to that specific audience. So if there's anything that you can do, if you're running an advertisement or something to land people on a page that ties directly back to that advertisement, that can be really effective. Another great way to maximize the cold traffic is to convert them into warm traffic. So if you can't necessarily make the sale right away, get them on your mailing list, communicate with them over time. This is something that really every infopreneur should be trying to do. So it's a great way if they're not quite ready to make the leap all the way onto making the sale to present them with a lot of free content that shows your expertise and gets you to the point where they like you and they trust you. So these are a couple of examples of sign up forms on ClickBank pitch pages where they're offering sort of an entry free item for people who want to get on their list instead. This is another one. It's obviously a lot fancier, but it's the same kind of idea where you can download sort of a trial sample piece of material from the vendor first and get to see the kind of information they provide. And here's another one which is in the basketball niche where you get a workout and get to get familiar with the vendor first before you buy their product. One of the things that a lot of ClickBank vendors really want when they get onto ClickBank is to use the affiliate network and start getting people sending traffic their way. But much like web traffic in general, not all affiliates are created equal. There's some that can send a lot of volume but don't necessarily have a very responsive audience that trusts them. They just click on things but don't necessarily buy because they don't trust the source as much. And there are affiliates who are brand new and really don't know what they're doing, and so they might sign up for your list and potentially, spam or something like that that you don't want. So the best way to overcome that and to actually use affiliates in an effective way is to develop really quality affiliates and joint venture partners by providing a lot of training and materials around your product specifically, talking about who would be interested in this, what what the audience is, giving them sample type materials, doing relationship building with your affiliates and JVs. So creating a mailing list where you contact them, and potentially bonusing productive affiliates who've done a lot for your sales, and then monitoring. So we're going to talk a little bit more about each of these things. So here's the type of material that you might want to provide to your affiliates and joint venture partners. It could be banners or product images that they can use to advertise on your behalf, or to write a review about your product and include a picture of the product itself. And those can be really inexpensive to have those created. You can even potentially go on Fiverr.com and get someone to create images, or there are a lot of other box shot type products that you can have done. You could use 99 Designs to have someone create a very professional advertisement or package of advertisements. You might provide them with sample keywords that they could use to target through SEO or to advertise on your behalf. You could provide target customer information to them, so demographic information, stuff about what results the audience is looking for, those types of things, what the benefits of the products are, best practices in promoting you. So if you have any particular rules about how you want people to promote you or what they shouldn't be doing, you can talk about that. You could even create kind of embeddable demo videos of your product, where if they were advertising it to their audience, for example on their blog, they could just easily embed the video to give their audience more information about the product without having to create a lot of new content. So this is an example off of an affiliate page that one of our vendors has, talking about all the different types of things that you get when you become an affiliate of theirs. The monitoring piece is basically keeping track of what your affiliates are doing, so that you make sure that they're doing quality promotions and representing your product and your brand in a way that you would want it represented. One of the best ways to do that is to build an affiliate email list, so that you can actually speak to them and communicate things like those best practices, or if you have product updates or things that are important for them to know, you want them to be able to get that information. They're not going to be visiting your affiliate tools page very often, so being able to proactively communicate with them is really good. Take a look at your ClickBank analytics within your account to look for those affiliates that might not be doing a great job of promoting you. Maybe they're sending a lot of hops your way, but it doesn't convert. Those may be people that you can either reach out to and help if they're on your affiliate email list, or they may be people that you may want to alert us to and not allow them to promote you if you think they might be promoting you in suboptimal ways. So if you do run across anyone where you know that an affiliate is doing something bad, maybe they're spamming or they're misrepresenting your product or something like that, you can email abuse@clickbank.com, and we can potentially blacklist them, or at the very least reach out to them and tell them, hey, this vendor doesn't like what you're doing, you need to change your promotional techniques. And then finally, one thing that's a new feature that we've introduced recently is an affiliate whitelist. And that can be one where you actually pre-approve affiliates before they can start promoting you. And if you have concerns about your brand, or you want to make sure that you really know all of your affiliates that are promoting you, you can enable the whitelist and then add people manually, so that you make sure that they are, advocating on your behalf in the appropriate ways. So if you'd want to enable that, just send an email to whitelist@clickbank.com, and our team can get that enabled for you. So that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching.